All right. Welcome. We have a very special call tonight. Tonight is Wednesday, February 5th, and we have a very, very special guest who has taken time out of his very, very busy day to join us on this call. Now, our special guest has 17 years of experience inside of the network marketing profession. Now, not only does he have an expertise in working on the corporate side, but he also built a very successful six-figure business inside of network marketing on the field side. So he has lived in all of our shoes. He knows what it looks like to build this business day in, day out. What are the activities like? What are the conversations like? He has seen it all and he's done it all. And I think that that's what makes him so unique when it comes to his corporate experience and moving over to the corporate side of network marketing and really wanting to make improvements for the field, because he knows what we go through and he knows what we grow through. And that's really unique because not everybody that ends up in the corporate side of network marketing has field experience. So it's really, really special, and it gives him this really unique perspective on what it is that we do, and of course, why what we have here at Isagenix is so special. Now, one of the reasons why he's able to take a look at Isagenix and see how different we are compared to other companies in the industry is because he's worked for other companies. He has seen other compensation plans. He has become an expert in other compensation plans and the way that they're structured as compared to what we have here. And he believes, along with Zach and me, many of the other leaders inside of our company who have seen other compensation plans, we know that this is the best, the most lucrative, the most simple to understand, the most fair and even compensation plan anywhere inside of the industry. And so we've invited Jon Raynes on tonight to speak about really what separates us. What do we have that's so different? What do we have that really other companies can't offer their people? And what do we have that's setting us up for residual income that can pay us for life? Of course, with the significant effort that it takes and being willing to be coachable and doing the work, and all of those things go without saying. But why is it? Because people can be in other companies and do the same amount of work, but not have the same amount of money that's on the table. So we're going to be spending the next little bit here talking about what separates us, what makes our comp plan so superior to anything else that's out there. And before I bring Jon out on the line, I just want to tell you something just from my own personal experience about Jon. What I love most about him, aside from him being just absolutely brilliant in business, Jon always is so responsive. Anytime I send him a message, he immediately writes back. Jon is always in a great mood. He has a huge smile on his face. He's definitely one of the most well-liked people inside of this company and probably inside of this industry. He's so approachable, and he's just this like genuinely authentic person who really cares about people and really wanting to support all of us. So if this is your first time meeting Jon, you're going to fall madly in love with him. If you've already connected with him before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So Jon, I'm going to go ahead and give you the controls. You now are unmuted and you now are spotlighted. There you go. But I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Technical difficulties, but we'll figure it out. Oh, you're muted. Just kidding. Okay, I unmuted you and okay, there we go.
I apologize. Yes, thank you. Eden, that is so kind of you. And I want you to know, I really want you to know that I am not that responsive with everybody. I just really like you and Zach. So that's why I'm so responsive. I really like you. I've got so much respect for you and for Zach. I was so excited to talk about this because I'm very passionate about this. And I want people to have this information. I want you to be able to use this not only so you know for yourself why Isagenix is the very best compensation plan out there, but because you're going to be meeting people who are going to say, oh no, I'm with a company, and with this company, our executive team, they're the smartest people that have ever lived. And they walk on water when it's frozen. And so they wrote the perfect compensation plan. And you can say, well, let me ask you some questions that may enlighten some things about your compensation plan that you maybe are not aware of. So my background, having been in the industry for 17 plus years, I've been on the corporate end of Stair-Step Breakaways. I've built and been on the corporate end of Unilevels, and I've built and been on the corporate end of binaries. I'm familiar with matrices. I'm familiar with all of the different compensation plans that you would come across that are out there. I have a real passion for compensation plans because in the years that I have built businesses, worked with compensation plans, I've learned one thing that's really critical. And that is that compensation plans help to determine the culture of a company. Compensation plans help to determine the culture of a company. And what's rewarded is what happens, okay? So when what's rewarded is what happens, oftentimes the things that are rewarded are the wrong things in a compensation plan, and it can actually create divisiveness. It can actually create little battles between leaders, between teams, between uplines and downlines. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you through some of the common plans that you'd see out there. I'm gonna give you some examples, and I'm gonna help you to understand how you can have conversations with other people as they're talking to you about their comp plan, or as they have questions about our comp plan, to help you be ready to go forward. Now, I also have a podcast that you can find on Isagenix podcast. If you look Isagenix podcast, it's comp plans in the industry. So if you miss something, you can always go back and listen to the podcast later, and that will also help you. But I'll get into a little more depth here as we're talking. So what happens with the compensation plan is they design a plan to incentivize people to build the business and to be rewarded for building a business. However, in building these compensation plans, they have to put in certain restrictions, or else the compensation plan would bankrupt the company, right? If there was no restrictions, then a compensation plan would bankrupt the company. No one would have an ongoing business, and that wouldn't work. So there has to be restrictions that are put in there. All compensation plans, all the varieties of different compensation plans that are out there are just different restrictions that are put in to help people, okay? But let's talk about some of the most common. Now, some of the older companies that you might see, some of the big older ones are stair-step breakaways. And let me explain the theory behind a stair-step breakaway. With a stair-step breakaway, what it is you have people that you develop into leadership levels, and you get paid on the volume that they create. And when they hit a certain level of leadership, they break away from you, and you get paid less on them. The thought being, well, okay, well, when you develop them to this level of leadership, now they can more stand on their own, so we don't have to pay you as much on them. Doesn't that sound horrible? It's horrible. So you are de-incentivized for someone to hit a new rank, because when they hit this rank, you make less money on them. Do you see how that would be a problem? Again, think about the way that culture is influenced by the compensation plan. So there's a lot of older companies that use stair-step breakaways, and I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of problems in there because of that main fault. As people progress, you make less money on them. With Isagenix, as people progress, you make more money on them, right? Like, you want them to do better. You want them to do well. The more they make, the more you make, right? So stair-step breakaway is the first one. There are a lot of the older companies. The matrix compensation plan, we'll just go through this real quickly. The matrix compensation plan automatically places people. So they're basically saying, no, our computer's gonna figure it out. We'll automatically place people. You sign them up, we'll put them in here. So you don't get to put any of your own thought or energy or feeling or theory into how you're building the business. And these are far less common recently because of that, because people really hate them. So let's talk about the other one that's really common. It's the Unilevel. Now, there is this ongoing fight between Unilevels and binary compensation plans. And both of them will say, oh my goodness, we're so much better. I can't believe someone would be building a binary, right? And binaries will say, oh, we're so much better. I can't believe someone would ever build a Unilevel. So I'm going to tell you the good and the bad of both, because there's good and there's bad of both, okay? I want to give you all the information. Let's talk about a Unilevel. Now, a Unilevel, the way that one works is you have a certain amount of levels that you're paid on. So you sign people up, they sign people up, and then they sign people up, okay? So a Unilevel is more like your PET, okay? So you've got your 1 to 4 to 16 PET, but you've got a level that you're paid on, you sign people up, and then they sign people up, that's the second level. They sign people up, that's the third level. They sign people up, that's the fourth level, okay? So let me tell you the good in a Unilevel. The good in a Unilevel is if someone doesn't understand network marketing, it's a really easy compensation plan to conceptualize. I sign up people, they sign up people, they sign up people, and they're all going in levels, right? So that being said, I told you I'd tell you the good and the bad. That's the end of the good with a Unilevel, okay? It's easy for people to conceptualize if they don't know anything about network marketing. It's horrible to say, but it's so true. So let's talk about the problems with a Unilevel. The problems with a Unilevel is that they have something called a terminal level. Now, the terminal level is the level at which they no longer get paid anything beyond it, okay? So let's say you've got a company and they have a Unilevel that's a 7-level Unilevel, which means someone can get paid up to 7 levels deep, and then after that, they don't get paid anything else. Now, think about how this would influence the culture of your build. You are de-incentivized to help people who are beyond your 7th level because you're not going to get paid on that no matter what, right? And let me tell you a story. So I was at another company previously, and one of my friends was the top check earner in that company. He was making just boy band money, crazy gangster money, right? And what happened is he had someone on his first level, and this is a Unilevel, his first level, who was really trying. This guy was a try-hard. He was really trying, but he wasn't having great results. And so my friend signed up a new person who had some great potential. He said, you know, I'm going to help you out. I'm going to put this person, this new person, underneath you on your on my 2nd level, underneath that person to help the try-hard out. And what that did then is any volume that was created by that new person who was put in on the 2nd level is now 1 level closer to the terminal level. Does that make sense? Because he pushed him 1 level away from himself, put him on the 2nd level. So now you'd only get paid between the 3rd level and the 7th level. So he said that one mistake cost him $6 million over 10 years. That one mistake cost him $6 million over 10 years. So Unilevels are great if you have a glass ball. If you can predict the future, it's great. You can know where to put people and how to put them in, which can be very difficult, right? So understanding that and understanding the way that it works and understanding the way culture is influenced by a compensation plan, the only way to maximize a Unilevel is to put everyone on your first level and to never put someone underneath someone else. Because the minute you do that, the minute you put someone underneath someone else, you have put them closer to your terminal level, which means the volume they created is cut off and you make less money. Does that make sense? Now the goal here, the goal of a network marketing compensation plan should be to create collaboration. And that disincentivizes collaboration. Everyone has to go on your first level. If you're going to maximize a Unilevel, you never put someone underneath someone else, ever, right? And what that does then is that creates silos of teams that actually start to compete with each other, right? It creates this divisiveness between the teams, which can be really, really difficult within a business, and it can destroy businesses, okay? So what compensation plans started to do is they created something called a dynamic compression, okay? And what they said is, all right, well, we're having some difficulties. People are putting people underneath people, and it's pushing them closer to the terminal level. They're missing out on money. So what we're going to do is we're going to create something called dynamic compression. And what dynamic compression is, you don't need to get caught up on it, but what dynamic compression is any volume that's past the 7th level or the terminal level will roll up to the leader that's at the level of where they can collect that, okay? So it rolls past that level. The leadership above can collect it as long as they're at a certain rank. So let me tell you what was happening when I was on the corporate end of another Unilevel. I had a leader come to me and say, John, I've got a real problem. I've got to talk to you about this problem. I said, okay, yeah, let's talk about the problem. And she said, my volume is going through the roof. Oh, that's great. My rank advancements are going through the roof. People are rank advancing like crazy. I'm like, that's wonderful. What? You said this was a problem, right? And she said, yeah, because my check keeps going down. I said, wait, hold on. Your volume keeps increasing and you're having rank advancements in your team, but your check is going down. And she said, yeah, it keeps going down. Month after month, it keeps going down. So we did some research. And do you know what we found? We found that because they had dynamic compression, she had been collecting volume past her terminal level, that when she had rank advancements, they now started to collect what she was collecting before. So the better her team did, the more rank advancements they had, the less money she made. Does that make sense? That's so messed up, especially when you're trying to be collaborative and building a business. It's so messed up that the better your team members do, the less money you make because of the way they put the compensation plan together, right? Very difficult, very, very difficult. So some other companies will say, okay, well, now we're not paying on levels, we're paying on generations. We're doing generations now. And generations are from this person to this person, okay? That's fine. It's the same exact thing. Because no matter what, there is still a terminal level. I had a woman call me yesterday, and she had me look at one of the businesses out there, and she said, "So tell me, John, what's going on here? What's the problems here in this business?" I said, "Well, this is the same problem that is a big part of all Unilevels. So any Unilevel that you come across, and they might call it a generational Unilevel, they might call it just a plain Unilevel, they might call it a Unilevel hybrid. It's still a Unilevel. If there's a terminal level, it's a Unilevel, okay? So there's one major problem with Unilevels, and that is the way that they increase their pay, okay? So the way you increase your pay in Isagenix is you increase your volume in a variety of different ways. You help people rank advance, you help people place orders, you increase your volume. That's how you get paid. That's the way a business should work. In Unilevels, the way you get paid additional levels or have access to additional pools or whatever it might be is you increase your rank, okay? However, there's a real problem with this, right? Now, at one of the companies I was at, for someone to be a diamond, they had to have a certain amount of silvers, okay? Now, silvers at the time took about 18 months to build. 18 months to build a silver. And if someone was to lose one of these silvers, their income would decrease by roughly, on average, it was about at least a third. Their income would decrease. Now, because it takes 18 months to build a silver, and because if they lose that one silver that's qualifying them to earn that additional commissions, they would lose a third of their compensation plan, people got smart to it. And something really, really tragic happened and continues to happen in Unilevels. And it's called rank hostaging. Now, what rank hostaging is people will say, oh, I'm one of your silvers. You're a diamond, I'm one of your silvers. And I realize you need me more than I need you. Because if I don't hit silver, you don't hit diamond, you lose at least a third of your income like that. So get to work on my business. You're now gonna build my business for me because it takes 18 months on average to build to a silver. So instead of you going and building another silver for 18 months, it's literally easier for you just to build my business while I collect a check so you can maintain your current level. So they literally hold your rank hostage. And it's called rank hostaging, okay? So some of the other companies that are out there, the names that I could say that you've probably heard of, whether they're generational Unilevels or whether they claim not to be Unilevel, but they are a Unilevel, you can easily tear apart just about any Unilevel plan by saying, okay, so how do you increase your pay? How do you increase your rank? Well, to increase my rank, I have to have a certain amount of silvers. I have to have a certain amount of directors. I have to have a certain amount of these. Okay, how long on average does it take to build one of those solid? It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some work. And you can ask them, and if one of these people, these silvers or these directors or whatever it might be, if one of those dropped from position, do you lose your rank? Yes. So you need your leaders more than they need you. Yes. Okay, so they hold you hostage. Yes, they do. They hold you hostage. It's rank hostaging. So you can tear about any Unilevel plan with that. There's one plan that I looked at yesterday. They needed the equivalent of like 10 personally enrolled executives to maintain their high rank. And if they dropped one, they lost a large part of their income. How can you create stability in your income when people hold you hostage? Now, let's say that someone in the Isagenix business in your comp plan, let's say you're an executive, you're an active executive, and one of your consultants figures this out and says, oh, I'm one of your 10 consultants. You need me to be an executive. So you better get to work on my business. How long does it take to replace a consultant? You can do it in a night. You can do it in a night. You can do it in a party. So what's powerful about the Isagenix compensation plan is there's no rank hostage. I don't have to have a certain amount of personally enrolled executives to maintain my pay. I don't. I really don't. And if someone wants to hold me hostage because they're one of my consultants that I need to hit executive or to maintain executive, I can say, you know, I don't work that way. I don't get held hostage. I would love to work with you, but you have to do your own work. I'm going to go build my own consultant. Right? Think of how freeing that is. Now that's the Unilevel plan, and anytime, whether it's a generational Unilevel, a normal Unilevel, whatever name they give it, it's a Unilevel. There's a terminal level where they don't get paid anything more than that, and they have a high requirement of you to bring people along at a high rank, or at least a medium rank, for you to maintain your income. And if any of those people drop, you lose your income. That's a Unilevel. So like I said, Unilevels, easy for people to understand if they don't know anything about it, anything about network marketing. Very easy to understand. And that's where the benefits stop. Okay? So now let's talk about binaries, because I really love binaries, and I built a Unilevel, been successful at it. I've been on the corporate end of a Unilevel. I've built a binary, been successful at it. And obviously on the corporate end of a binary, I love binaries for this reason. You are able to collaborate with people and help them without creating entitlement. If you have entitlement in a comp plan that's rewarded, that's not a comp plan, that's a prison. You're able to have collaboration and work with people without creating entitlement, because in order for you to get paid, you need two sides. Now, when I had built before, it was with another compensation plan. I had one of my friends, and this we didn't have the mega flush there, but I had one of my friends call me up and he said, John, I've got 4 million in volume on my side. Why am I not getting paid? What's wrong? And I said, listen, friend, I got you enrolled early, but I just need to clarify, you don't have 4 million on that side. I have 4 million on that side. I built that. You never built your other leg. I'm able to collaborate with you. I'm able to help you. I want to help you, but I can't build both sides for you, and I won't build both sides for you. That's something you have to do yourself. You have to be willing to do the work yourself. So what a binary does is it creates collaboration without entitlement. You can help someone. You can really help someone without giving it to them. They still have to do the work themselves. That's why I love binaries. Now let's talk about the bad part of a binary. The bad part of a binary is sometimes it's hard for people to conceptualize. A left and a right, I'm just going to sign people up, right? Well, no. That little left-right, if they can conceptualize that, if you can draw it and help them understand, is the best thing you can do, right? That's the bad part. Helping people conceptualize left, right, left, right, left, right. Oh, okay, that's all I need to do? Great. The problem is if someone's unwilling to learn the left, right, they may not be coachable. And you might need to call them out on the table and say, listen, I know that right now you're trying to understand this. I need you to just be open-minded. Would you be willing to be open-minded? And I'll show you the benefit of why left, right is a superior plan. Great. They're coachable, then you can take them through it. And then you get the benefit of collaboration without entitlement. But there's other binaries that are out there. So you might have another plan. There's a lot of other plans that are out there that are binaries as well. Okay. So one could say, well, all the binaries are the same. That's not true. Our binary is very different. Very, very different. And I built a binary. Now, when I came on to Isagenix, I learned their compensation plan. I went through all the trainings, and it put me in a depression for like 10 days, like dark cloud depression. Because I realized if I had built my business previously with the same amount of volume that I had created previously, but just in this plan, I would have made tens of thousands of dollars more each year. I missed out on an insane amount of money just because of the way the two compensation plans were put together. So let me give you a story to help you understand the way that this works, okay? With our compensation plan, our binary compared to other binaries. So let's say that I'm really excited. I've got this new opportunity, and it's with another compensation plan. And I say, all right, Connie, Phil, come out to my party. I want you to come out to the party here. You're going to love it. They come out to the party. They absolutely love it. Connie and Phil say, this is phenomenal. Let's do this. Connie's on my left, Phil's on my right. We're good to go. I'm driving home myself. You guys went your own way. I'm driving home myself. I've got my auto shipment set up. My wife is using the products like crazy. I get hit by a truck. Okay, I get hit by a truck. It's got a happy ending. Don't worry. I get hit by a truck and I go into a coma for 5 years. I'm still on auto shipment. My wife is still using the products. Connie and Phil are like, man, we love that little leprechaun looking redhead. We love him. We're going to do this for him. We're going to build this for him. We're going to blow it up. So you blow it up. Connie and Phil, you crush it. You maximize it. You blow out both legs. When I wake up 5 years later in another compensation plan, and the one I built before, the amount of money I'd be making each week after both Connie and Phil blow it up for me is I'd be making $750 a week. Let me retell that story now. Let me retell that story. Same thing happens. Connie and Phil come out. They come to the party. They sign up. I get hit by a truck. I go into a coma for 5 years. I wake up. The only difference is it was an Isagenix meeting, and it was the Isagenix plan. I wake up, and Connie and Phil, having blown that up for me, I'm making $13,500 a week. That's the difference. In the other compensation plan, which I worked at before, it was the one I'd come from, the most I'd be making, even with Connie and Phil blowing it up for me, is $750. In the Isagenix plan, it's $13,500. Because what other binaries do is they limit the amount of money you can earn each week based on your rank. It's called rank-based caps, right? Rank-based caps. And so they'll come in and say, okay, well, if you are a silver, you can only earn $500 a week. And if you're a bronze, you can earn $1,000 a week. And if you're an emerald, you can earn $1,500 a week, but no more. With Isagenix, we don't have rank-based caps. It is mathematically feasible that you could have one on your left, one on your right, and you could earn up to $13,500. So why would we do that differently than what other binaries are doing? It's because of the Cougars. It's because Kathy has built to the top of 3 different companies, so she knows the gotchas, she knows the issues, she knows the problems, and she knows that if you're to put a cap on what someone is getting paid, you're going to de-incentivize them to actually grow. Because if you put that cap on it, that's money that they otherwise would have invested back in the business and doing meetings, travel, getting additional samples, products, all of that. They know the way that it works because they've been there before. So they design the compensation plan differently. So if you have someone that you're talking to and they're like, oh yeah, well, my company, we've got a binary, a 2, so we're just as good as you. You can say, no, you're not as good as us. I'm sorry. Don't tell them that, but you can think it in your heart. You're not as good. But what you can say is, okay, well, is there a limit on what you're paid every week? Well, yeah, I mean, because you have to hit a certain rank and then you can earn a certain amount of money. And if you don't hit the rank, you don't have it. You can say, oh, okay, let me tell you a story about a coma and take them through it, right? Just let them know that there's a happy ending to it. But you're able then to show them that you have got a superior plan. And all of this, the superior plan, all of this has come together because of who the Cougars are. Because they're not people who conceptualize this. They're not MBAs who read about this business model in a book and decided they'll start a company. They're not people who theorized about a compensation plan. They're people who've built and built and built. So they know what works, they know what doesn't work, and that's why our compensation plan was designed to reward the right behaviors. It rewards collaboration without entitlement. There's no rank-based caps. You can earn as much as you want to build, and there's nothing stopping you from that. So that's I know that's pretty quick, but those are the main types of compensation plans that are out there. We've talked about them. We've talked about the good and the bad of each. I hope everyone understands Unilevel is a little bit better, right? And binaries as well. Binaries as well. And you, when it comes to binaries, you've got the best binary out there of all of them. Cool?
John, thank you so much. I do have a couple of questions. Do you have a couple more minutes?
Please, yes.
Okay. This is so valuable. I have 2 pages of notes. I mean, even I've been doing this for 7 years, but Isagenix is my very first company. So when I chat with people in other companies, I don't always totally understand some of the downfalls in their building style and in the, in the way that their compensation plan is designed and the behavior that drives. However, just with the almost 7.5 years that Zach and I have been building this, it's been very obvious that our compensation plan drives the behavior of leadership. And that's what I love most. It drives the behavior of leadership development, and that's what really creates a sustainable business. There are no disincentives. Like, our pure incentive is develop more leaders, get more people paid, and that will grow our check. And I just love that. So thank you for really equipping us with some great verbiage. I know I have tons of notes I'm going to study, and I'm going to rewatch this. So you've just given us just so much more power to go into any meeting and get in front of anyone and ask some really powerful questions. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I have two questions. One, can you speak to the importance of building a balanced team? Because you gave the example of, okay, you've got somebody in your organization who's benefiting from, having been enrolled early or from being on some kind of a team leg. What's the importance of that person not just saying, all right, I'm going to feed off of all this volume that's here and I'm just going to drive one leg for myself, but really the kind of the long-term vision of building a sustainable business?
Yeah, I've actually got kind of a horror story for you, and this happened to me. So when I had first built a binary, I had my two legs, and I had one leg that just blew up. It was huge, and it was a big team leg, and it blew up. And my upline had said, John, don't ever worry about that leg. We're gonna blow it up here. You just focus on your stuff. So I did. I focused on my inside leg. And I really put all my energy and my effort into that one leg, which was great until it wasn't. Because what happened then was I had done so much work on my inside leg that they flipped. Which means I had built, there was one leg that had grown, and I had grown the other leg and left this other leg. I didn't do anything on it because I thought they had it. I thought it was good. No, these people have got it. It's fine. But because I hadn't built balanced, it flipped. Which means the outer leg that used to be my bigger leg was now my smaller leg, and it was dying. Which means my check was dying. Which means I was making so much money less than I was before. So much less money than I was before because I hadn't been balanced in my build. If I had been balanced in my build and said, all right, upline, just follow me. I'm going to be balanced because I don't know what's going to happen over there. And I don't want this to flip where what was my large leg is now my small leg. And all of a sudden I am having a difficult time figuring out, all right, how are we going to make this work this month? If I had just been smart and built both legs, I would be having a consistent paycheck even now. So I had to, after it flipped, because I had built that way, I had to leave this bigger leg now and focus on this other leg and be like, hey everybody, and I know I haven't seen you in a while. I'm just here to help. Would really love to help you blow it up on this side. Let's make things happen over here because it's not happening over here, and that's affecting my ability to support my family. So you have to build balanced because you're building for the long term. If you want to check for a few months, great. Build however you want to build. If you want to check for years that you can pass on to your progeny, you need to build balanced. I don't care what the volume looks like on both sides. That will change. It will always change. You are the piece that builds balanced. Don't look at the volume, look at the balance, and build balance on both sides yourself. So you don't have to do what I did and come back and be like, oh, sorry, I know I haven't seen you guys in forever, but now I'm really invested in you. Let's do this. That was not a fun situation. Right? Not a fun situation. So avoid it completely, build balance regardless of what's happening with the volume.
That's super valuable. And thank you for the real life example. We've always said to people from the beginning, even if you have, even if you happen to be in an area of the tree where there is some activity that's happening from the team to give you a little bit of that overflow volume, act as if it's not there. Build as if it's not there. Only focus on what you can control, and that is your personal enrollments and the development of those personals, the leadership development that you have a stamp on. Because anything else, like you have no control over culture, habits, how people are being taught, and the best thing you can do to take care of your family is just really focus on your own. And like John said, make sure that you have a balanced build with your personals so that no matter what happens, no matter if somebody goes on vacation, tragedy strikes in their life, you have your own stamp and you have your own relationships with those people in your personal lines. So I think that's super powerful. And my last question, and for those of you, if you have any questions that you'd like for Jon to answer, just go ahead and post in the chat box. So on this call, this is the European group. This represents, I think, the fastest growing team in the entire company right now, which is so exciting for everybody on this call. Can you just speak real quick to what was the philosophy behind the new lifestyle bonus that's being offered? They've already had the manager and the director pool, but what's the new lifestyle bonus all about from a corporate standpoint? And then if nobody has questions, we'll let you get back to work.
Yeah, so I love this question because this bonus is one of my favorites that I've seen that we've done. So the executive lifestyle bonus is very, very powerful for you. But if you really want to be smart about it, you need to understand how it applies to your people. That's the most important thing, okay? So with the executive lifestyle bonus, if you hit paid as executive for a month, you get $750. If the following month you get paid as executive for the full month, you get $750. And the following month after that, paid as executive, you get $1,000, okay? So they if you just do them like I hit paid as executive this month, not the next month, and the next month you get $750 on each one of those. If they're consecutive, you get $1,000 on the third, okay? And you can do that for the entire year long, so that's $10,000. So you're like, great, cool, that's money, fine. That's not how you utilize it. You don't just explain it that way. The way you explain this, the way you talk to people about it, regardless of where they are in their business, okay, but especially people who are starting out, you can say, listen, what would this take for you to take a serious look at this? To seriously invest yourself in this, what would it take? And they're going to bring up things like, well, if I could pay my car payment with this, that would be great. If I could pay a portion of my mortgage, that would be great. If I could pay some of my, whatever it might be, my utilities with this, that would be great. That's a good start. Okay, I can show you how you can guarantee to do that. All right? Guarantee. That's the word that's crucial. If you do X, you get Y. Does that make sense? If you do this, you get this. And that's the genius behind the executive lifestyle bonus. So if you can help someone, you can say, listen, can you get 10 people who have 2 people? If you can do that, I can guarantee you'll get $750 on top of everything else that you're getting, right? And then let them know. You can take this to your significant other. You can take it to the other people in your life. And you can say, if you support me in this, let me show you how I can guarantee that I can bring an extra $750 into our household, okay? That's what's crucial. Because instead of them going back and saying, well, this is how a binary works, and this is how cycles work, and I can have this much volume and this much volume and all that kind of stuff, the significant other, the people that they're talking to about this, they don't want to go through all of that. They just want to know, is this worth our time? Is this worth our energy? So it simplifies that conversation for them to have with their significant other or other people in their lives and say, no, it's guaranteed. If I do this, if I get paid as executive for a month, I get at least $750. And if I do it throughout the whole year, it's a $10,000 increase on top of all the other commissions guaranteed. Not approximate, $750 each month, $10,000 the whole year, right? So it makes that conversation that you have with them more impactful, and it makes the conversation that they have with their business partners, their life partners, their significant others, it makes that more impactful because they can say, no, it's guaranteed. I do this, we get this, okay? So that's the way I would use this promotion is explain it that way so they have certainty. People love, more than anything, they love certainty, and that's what this allows them to do.
I'm so glad I asked that question because I had not considered that specific approach, and I think it's so brilliant. You know, Jon, I reflect back to my corporate days. It took me 4 years working at my last job to get a total of a $10,000 raise over the course of 4 years of working really, really hard for somebody else. And most people, when we polled the team, we asked, how long would it take for you to get a $10,000 raise at your job guaranteed? And most people said they didn't even see themselves doing that in a lifetime. So for us to be able to go to people and say, you know, if you support me in this, let me, or for them to tell their spouse, if you support me in this, let me show you how I can guarantee how we can bring in $10,000 into the household, or asking them what would make a radical difference in your life right now. How much money on a monthly or an annual basis would make a radical difference in your life right now? Let me show you how I can guarantee that income. This is a guaranteed paycheck. I love it. It's brilliant. Thank you. And I know like everybody in the chat box is loving it. Hugely valuable. I didn't see any more questions that have popped in here. I think that you've answered so many questions. I can't express our gratitude for your partnership. Corporate is always, guys, corporate are our partners in doing this. We all have a vested interest in the success of the entire company. So thank you for your time, and thank you for everyone who is here and present. And for those of you who are going to watch the recording, this is invaluable information that we will revisit again and again. And just thank you so, so, so much.
My pleasure. You guys are awesome. Great things ahead.
Yes. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Thanks again, Jon.